remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt light is on.
Walking on a dream. How can I explain? Talking to myself. Will I see again? We are always running for the thrill of it, thrill of it. Always pushing up the hill, searching for the thrill of it. On and on and on we are calling out and out again. Never looking down, I'm just in awe of what's in front of me.
Subscribe and like channel.
Hello everyone, welcome back to PP Trongloy Talk Show. Today I have with me someone from Nagaland. He is the potential future Chief Minister of Nagaland, according to me, the President of Rising People's Party, Sri Joel Naga. So welcome to the show. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi, Bibi. Yes, hi.
Thank you for being my guest. I have been anticipating for this moment from a very, very long time, just like the Nagas waited for Naga political issues. I have been waiting for these episodes. So you're finally here, and I'm so thankful to you. I have prepared a few questions, especially for you. So let's kick off, okay? The
Sure.
recent incident that happened in Nagaland, Kohima, the AYO, the Angami Youth Organization, has protested against the NSCN-K group, right? Which was a non-cooperation movement and also joined by various Naga groups, civil society organizations, youth organizations, and it turned out to be a huge success, and I'm so happy for that. And I feel like this is a turning point for a positive change in our Naga society. So you being a far-sighted politician, we look up to you and we want to know your opinion on this.
Okay, PP, hopefully your words, your prophetic words come true.
Mhm.
As for the Chief Ministerial part, yes, I hope it comes true. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm truly honored, and it's a pleasure to be interacting with you in
Mhm.
your channel, your platform. With regard to the question, I will say this. See, what happened was the NSCN-K Congo group,
Mhm.
they issued a death threat to an Angami contractor.
Mhm.
So the AYO, Angami Youth Organization, they held a rally, a protest rally in Kohima,
Mhm.
and they issued an ultimatum to the Congo group to withdraw the death threat. So many Naga organizations were there, CSOs, youth bodies were there, and it was a big gathering. But I'll tell you this, PP,
Mhm.
this is not the first incident, and this will not be the last incident.
Okay.
And you know why? Because the state government refuses to take responsibility. Maintaining law and order is a state subject.
Mhm.
And so far, the state government has been passing the buck to the government of India, represented by the ceasefire monitoring group based in Dimapur, headed by a lieutenant general retired. It's
Mhm.
always a lieutenant general retired.
Mhm.
So this ceasefire monitoring group, they try to ensure that these ceasefire ground rules is not violated by the armed groups. But apart from that, they can't do anything. The ceasefire monitoring group doesn't have the teeth to go to the market and arrest armed cadres. It's a job of the state government to do that, to arrest armed miscreants.
Mhm.
And so far, the state government hasn't been able to do that, and they will never do that. Because 20 years back, when Mr. Rio, he came to power as a chief minister, that is in the year 2003, he suddenly embarked on a policy of closeness with all the factional groups. And mind you, at that time, there were only 3 Naga political groups.
Mhm.
So when he embarked on this policy of closeness, basically he was given a free hand to all the armed groups to indulge in whatever activities they might or they may deem fit. And therefore, this policy has been disastrous for Naga people. Today, 21 years down the line, we have 26 armed groups in Nagaland, all roaming freely without the fear of the state government. So prior to 2003, when Dr. S.C. Jamir was the chief minister of Nagaland, when he was heading the Congress government, his policy was equidistance with all the Naga political groups. And Mr. Rio did the opposite, equi-closeness. So that's the story of Nagaland.
Thank you for that clarification. I would like to emphasize on the part where you said the state government is not willing to take up the responsibility when it comes to the underground U.G groups. Okay, the faction starting from 3 to 26 is like a job. The alphabet A to G, the name has taken up, right? So please elaborate on the part where you say the state government headed by the chief minister, Nefirio, is not willing to take up the responsibility to arrest the U.G groups roaming freely or doing things that are illegal.
Well, let me put it in this manner. It's not only the chief minister. None of the politicians are willing to rein in the Naga political groups. Okay, because of this simple fact, during every election, every candidate from every political party, irrespective of the political party, every candidate takes the help of the armed groups to win the election. So our politicians are beholden to the armed groups. So they are an extension of your whatever, of your power base. So when these politicians, they form a government, obviously, you will not, you will give them, the free hand, number one, and you will facilitate them in many other things. For example, contracts in, like government departments will be given to the armed groups. And that is apart from the fact that they have a free reign in, I mean, they are free to do whatever they want to do in the markets. So this is the simple fact. They are deeply ingrained in the governance of the state. And these days, there's no distinction, in fact. The underground groups, they are like, they have mingled themselves with the civilian population, and then whether this guy is a civilian or an underground personnel, it's become very difficult to distinguish and differentiate. So this is part of the larger problem, and this is the reason why the Naga political issue has been dragging on for so many years, because nobody wants to solve this issue. Even the undergrounds, they are milking the government. They're milking the common man. I mean, for most of the underground groups, they've got their independence. They've got their, they've got their sovereignty, because money is there, tons and tons of money. They have built good houses. They have built their mansions, and so it's as good as getting sovereignty for most of these factions. And on the other hand, the government of India is very happy because they want this situation to persist and to continue for years and years and years, centuries down the line. See, the government of India, they are masters of this divide and rule policy. And Nagaland, seeing this situation in Nagaland, they are more than happy to allow this situation to continue. They will not give solution to the Naga people. Never.
I feel like, the Nagas are at the mercies of the U.G groups. And, to break through all this, I feel like we have to have people's movements, because we are in a democratic country. Freedom of expression is our fundamental right. So I think it's high time, after so many decades, it's high time for the Nagas, for the youth to open their eyes, raise their voice, and fight against all this. So what do you think?
See, it's a very difficult proposition. That is not going to happen, because Nagaland is a very tribalistic society. we have 16 tribes, and then and Naga tribes, and then we have the Kukis and the Kacharis and the other smaller tribes. So it's a it's a it's a divided society, in fact. So okay, let me put it in this manner. Even if the general public wants to come together and fight the menace of illegal taxations and collections and extortion, what can we do? Now you tell me, what can we do? Because we, the public, we don't have the arms. And these underground factions, obviously, they are armed to the teeth. So they're well equipped. And the public, do you think it's our responsibility to fight these undergrounds? No, I don't think so. Yes, we can raise voices. We can be pressure groups, and we can talk to them. We can appeal to them. But ultimately, is the state government which has to take a decision. The state government has to come down with an iron hand. It's the state government which has to protect us, our properties, our way of life. And therefore, whether it's the Naga people or the Kuki people or any people in the world, it is not the responsibility of the common man to be fighting armed groups in such a manner. Yeah, because we have to understand that Nagaland is not Bangladesh, where the students can can gherao and they can force Sheikh Hasina to stand to give up power with the help of the army. Such a situation is not possible in Nagaland or anywhere else in India, because state government is within the Indian constitution and under the Indian federal government.
To fight against all this thing is like risking our own lives. So we got only one life, so we choose to live peacefully, right? Let's move aside with the U.G groups. I'm scared because I don't have a bodyguards or something. So, let's talk about our lone MP, Sri S. Supangmaran Jamir, his speech in the Lok Sabha. He appealed the government of India to restore the Naga political solution. He also talked about the dire need of airport in our capital city, that is Kohima, and also to solve the unemployment, youth unemployment. So you being the president of the Rising People's Party, do you agree with his statements? Do you support his statements?
Yes, I support his statement. The Naga political issue needs to be resolved. That is the number one question in our lips, and it needs to resolve. And I'm sure all the Naga people will agree with him. They will support him. Now, but the question is, how do we resolve the Naga political issue when the Naga political groups are so divided themselves? And let's not forget that when the UPA was in power, from 2004 to 2014, the UPA government could have resolved the Naga political issue. But they also dragged their feet. Then Modi came in 2014. Then in 2015, the framework agreement was signed, and Mr. Modi, he went to Dubai, and he announced to the world that the Naga issue is going to be resolved. Now it's 2024. Modi doesn't want to resolve the Naga political issue anymore. Now, should we blame India or should we blame ourselves? That I really don't know. Perhaps we can blame ourselves as well, because as I put it, we have 26 factions right now. Now, on your second question, connectivity, airport connectivity or train connectivity, whatever. Yes, Nagaland needs an airport. We already have an airport, but we need a world-class airport, which can handle more passengers. But here I'm a little bit skeptical. Which airport in Kohima is Mr. Supong talking about? I really don't know, because As far as I know, the state government has been talking about Jeju Airport in Kohima. So Jeju is, has Jeju Airport is being pursued by the chief minister. Okay. So whether Mr. Supong is talking about that airport, Jeju Airport, or some other place, I really don't know. But as far as Jeju Airport is concerned, I was told that if we have to make an airport at that particular place called Jeju Airport, it seems you have to, demolish, or you have to, blast this hillside. This is a hilly place. So almost 100 meters, almost 100 meters of this hillock has to be blasted away. So it seems the government of India, the Civil Aviation Ministry has said that this is not possible. How can we blast away 100, more than 300 feet of, in height of rocky terrain? We can do that. It's impossible technically. So anyway, I support connectivity, no doubt. But Dimapur being a commercial center of Nagaland, I think Dimapur needs a bigger airport, apart from the one we have. Perhaps the government of India may consider, expanding the present place. So that's one aspect. As with regard to the third question, which that is your third question was
The unemployment.
unemployment. Yes.
Yes.
How do we resolve the unemployment issue? We have no industries. There's no investment in Nagaland. Startups. We need startups. We need entrepreneurship. But government is not giving loans. Banks are not willing to give loans. If the banks they're willing to give loans, they're asking for collateral. Which unemployed youth can give, land as a collateral? And if the Naga political issues resolve, I'm sure this unemployment problem can be resolved to a large extent. But under the present circumstance, I don't think any industry would like to invest in Nagaland. I mean, I see no way out. And government of India, what can it do? I really don't know.
There is no solution to that. Our neighboring states like Mizoram, the Chief Minister of Mizoram, Mr. Lalduhama, has announced that there will be loans will be provided with free interest rate or things like that I've come across. I feel like even the state government can do that for the startups, for the entrepreneurships and things like that, so that we can slowly solve our own problem. And I also feel like it's high time for not the government, for the parents also to encourage and promote unconventional dreams. Like if we rely only on government jobs, we often say that beyond chogidar hoilebi government job to bhal. If our mentality is confined to that, I don't think we will solve this unemployment issues anytime soon. So I think it's high time. So how will you encourage the parents in this regard?
Well, there are many influencers, and there are a good number of intellectuals who have been speaking along the same lines. That we should be looking for, we should be looking for jobs not in the government but elsewhere. We should encourage entrepreneurship and things like that. We have been talking for the last 10-20 years. I'm sure you're aware of that. Many people, people who have success stories behind them, have been talking about it. But then our mindset is such that we really go for government job at the end of the day. As you put it, so that is a mindset which we have, and it will take a long time. It will take a generation to break that mindset, I guess, and I believe that. The chief minister, I think 2 years back, initiated this chief minister's scheme, something like that, to encourage entrepreneurship through grant of loans and subsidy. So whether that has been a success or not, I really don't know, because I haven't heard of anything in the sense Yes, I haven't heard of anything in the sense when you talk about loans and subsidies and things like that, obviously there are lots and lots of applicants in terms of lakhs.
Mhm.
But I've been hearing reports that most of the candidates are not getting selected, and even those people who are getting selected happens to be relatives of politicians and things like that. So
Mhm.
many people are again discouraged.
Mhm.
So there has to be a certain mechanism whereby only the genuine ones can be identified, but I really don't know whether that's happening or not. So it's a cause for concern again. So I really don't know what should we do apart from we have been talking about skilling the youths,
Mhm.
skill development since Modi came to power, since Modi became the chief minister, prime minister. He has been talking about skilling India. And then even in Nagaland, there were lots of talks regarding skilling the youths. But I don't see any result. Some organization or the other organization comes up and says, we have trained so much number of people, we have trained thousands of youths, we have trained 5,000 youths, we have trained blah blah. But then I don't see anything on the ground because at the end of the day, when you call somebody to repair your, to fix the light at your place, at your residence, it's the outsiders.
Mhm.
It's mostly the mainland Indians.
Mm.
We don't see the local boys. We call somebody to fix the refrigerator or the AC. It's inevitably some outsider who comes. So I really don't know.
Mhm. Right now, we don't have a solution to resolve unemployment issues. So let's hope and pray that sooner something will be done. And I feel like this is high time for you and I, for the parents, for everybody to appreciate one another in whatever we're doing, because no job is too small and no job is too sophisticated. At the end of the day, we all
Exactly.
are working hard to put food on our table. So moving on to my last questions, the
Okay,
E.N.P.O.
PP,
Okay,
before you move on to your last question,
okay, please go ahead.
regarding this employment, regarding your second question,
Okay.
see, it's something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to to even rear poultry, we need
Okay.
electricity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to get into carpentry and furnitures, you need electricity. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, if there's no proper electricity supply in your state, there will be no entrepreneurial activities. As simple as
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about hatcheries, for example, you need electricity for hatcheries. When you talk about, as I said, carpentry, you need machines. Those manual days are long gone. You need machines, and machines need electricity.
Mm-hmm.
In Nagaland, we don't have proper electricity supply,
Yes, yes.
and in fact, even most of the hotels and commercial places are running at a loss
Mm.
because there's no electricity. You have to buy
Yeah.
diesel,
Mm-hmm.
and then so business is really affected.
Mm-hmm.
So the number one priority of this government should be to provide electricity at any cost.
Mm-hmm.
So once this problem is resolved, I'm sure lots of entrepreneurial activities can take place.
That's true. One of the major issues that we face in Nagaland is the electricity. We can't deny that. Pani giriliwi, line jai jai, na giriliwi jai jai. So we really need to resolve these issues. It's a gentle reminder to the electricity department as well to do their job, faithfully, I guess. Okay, thank you so much for
Like
highlighting
Jashitia.
that. Line jai shri. Okay, I hope you have the backup. I don't want to interrupt your session.
Backup is there.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah. Okay, so putting all those jokes aside, let's talk about the serious issues. The E.N.P.O, their demand for, I will not say separate administration, but let's put separate financial assistance from the state government, from the central government, I'm sorry. The Nagas demanding separation from the Nagas, from Nagaland, Naga territory. And I would like to, put together with this with the Kukis demanding for separate administration from the Manipur government, from, the Métis. Let's see, the Eastern Nagas and the other Nagas, they all are same ethnicity. Okay, so like the Eastern Nagas demanding all this separation in terms of financial assistance or whatever is okay, right? So then how about the Kukis demand for separate administration? Me, I am a Kuki from Nagaland, but my Britain from Manipur, whatever they are facing, the whole world knows about it, right? So sometimes I feel like it's a matter of concern to discuss this, and you being, an honest politician, far-sighted politician, I want to know your personal as well as honest opinion on this.
Okay, my honest and blunt opinion on this is very simple. The Kukis of Manipur that deserve a separate administration. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's as clear as daylight that the Kukis and the Métis communities, they cannot live together as before
Mm-hmm.
after what happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it still continue, of course. The skirmishes and the violence still continue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear to all of us, it's very clear to the government of India that that any rapprochement between the Kukis and the Métis is going to be very difficult. They know it, we know it, all of us know it. And therefore, it's very important that we talk about a separate administration for the Kukis as well as for the Nagas of Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
See, whenever, I watch some of these channels, our Métis MLAs and leaders, they would always stress on the territorial integrity of Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And someone even went to the extent of saying, we swore to protect the territorial integrity of Manipur when we were sworn in the Manipur Legislative Assembly. This is utterly false. No MLA swears to uphold the territorial integrity of their state.
Mm-hmm.
An MLA or an MP swears to uphold the integrity of India and to uphold the constitution of the country.
Mm-hmm.
But these people have been, spreading lies
Mm-hmm.
and just misleading the people that they have sworn to uphold the territorial integrity of Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
See, as far as the integrity of Manipur or Nagaland or any other state in India is concerned, it's up to the government of India to decide under Article 3 of the Constitution,
Mm-hmm.
whereby they can redraw the boundary of a state. And anyway, we are not talking about a separate Kuki state within Manipur or outside of Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, what I'm saying is you need a separate administration. Kukis need a separate administration. Something like a Bodoland Territorial Council. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Bodoland Territorial Council, they were given this thing in 2003, and then again more autonomy was given down the years, and today they are demanding financial autonomy, direct funding from the government of India. So a separate Kuki administration with direct funding from New Delhi to the Kuki territorial administration, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the need of the hour. And until unless that is granted, and if the government of India is not wise enough to understand the sentiments of the Kuki people, I don't think peace will ever return to Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this as the only solution There's no wealth.
Thank you so much for raising your voice for my community, for my people. The violence has been continuing and it's been more than a year. And I feel like, we can see that. We can see it's crystal clear that the central government, the prime minister, everyone has turned a deaf, a blind eye to the Kukis. And it's so sad. But someone like you who have a clean heart, stood for the Kukis. So I am so happy right now. I'm almost crying. It's rare that we see people standing up for my people, for the Nagas or whoever, when things happened around the world, we stand up for Gaza, we stand up for Israel. But when such thing happened in your neighboring state with your fellow, tribals, we're not standing up, and then we're turning blind eye. It's really painful, and I'm so thankful to you and my whole community, the Kukis of Nagaland, the Kukis of Manipur, wherever we are, we all are thankful to you, and your words will not go wasted. When we achieve our goal of separate administration, you'll be warmly welcome in our homeland. To conclude this, please tell
We
me.
have to stand for what is right.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what I meant. We need to stand for what is right, because truth is bound to be triumphed. It may take some time, some years, some decades, but truth will be triumphed. Please conclude this episode, our talk show, by sharing a little bit about FMR.
Okay. Oh, yes, this is another contentious issue. As we all know, the Modi government revoked FMR, I think it was last year. So this is again, this is an issue which will again burn the Northeast.
Mhm.
It was a very dangerous move by the central government, and they revoked this, I believe, on the advice of Mr. Biren Singh, the Chief Minister of Manipur, whereby he accused Kuki infiltration for the problems in Manipur. And apparently he convinced the Indian government to seal the borders, to erect fencings along the borders, in the sense our border with Burma. And the Indian government seems to give much voice, much importance to Biren Singh. It's another matter that he hasn't been dismissed as the Chief Minister of Manipur since the outbreak of the violence. And to put salt into our wounds, the central government had the audacity to listen to Mr. Biren Singh again and revoke FMR. This is something which is unacceptable. The Mizos, the Kukis people, the Nagas, we have never recognized the so-called international boundary which runs through our land. And we can never recognize this. Now, what's happening is, if they put up this fencing, which we don't recognize, it's going to affect families, it's going to affect tribes, it's going to affect clans. This boundary was arbitrarily put in place by Mr. Nehru, the then Prime Minister, and Mr. U.N.P.O, I think the Prime Minister of Burma in 1951-52. Nagas have never recognized this so-called boundary. And I'm sure even the Kukis people, they have never recognized this boundary. The Mizos, they have never recognized this boundary. And we're still awaiting a proper response from the government of India. Some few months back, there was a big gathering in Dimapur, and many civil society organizations from Manipur and Mizoram and from Nagaland. And this gathering resolved to oppose the proposed construction of fences along the border.
Mm.
And this gathering also submitted a memorandum to the Prime Minister of India with a copy to the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah.
Mhm.
That was before elections. That was before this election in April. So hopefully the government of India will respond wisely, because until unless they listen to the sentiments of the tribal peoples in this part of the country, particularly on this issue, there will be violence, there will be bloodshed, for which the government of India will be solely responsible. This is a very emotional issue, PP.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, this is a
Mhm.
very emotional issue.
Mhm.
And the government of India is playing with their emotions.
Thank you so much for highlighting the issues. It's a high time for all of us to come together. The Nagas, the Kukis, the Mizos, the neighboring state must come together and, defend ourselves in this case. Thank you so much once again for your time and your voice. I hope this conversation is up to mark and the viewers learn something. May God bless you and your family. And like I always say, you are the most potential future Chief Minister of Nagaland, and looking forward to that.
PP, thank you so much. Anyway, God bless you. I
Thank
mean,
you.
thank you so much for inviting me once again. And I really loved, chatting with you.
Mhm.
I mean, we should do this often. Okay,
Yes,
we should do
yes.
this often. And I wish you all the best. You
Thank
take
you
care of
again.
yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.